it's my honor and privilege to invite the moderator to join us on stage. Put your hands together for 𝗦𝘂𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀, country leader, PwC Acceleration Centers in India. I possibly will have to ask, is that Nathan?
It is Nathan?
Yes.
Not Nathan.
Please put your hands together for Mr. 𝗦𝘂𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀 with us. I went on with the English pronunciation, but I come back with the Indian one. Ladies and gentlemen, featuring our speakers who will join this panel, they are Mr. Sanjeev Jain, Chief Operating Officer, Wipro, with 30 years of experience in leading large, diverse teams, scaling up global capability centers, deploying Lean Six Sigma, design thinking for operational excellence and business transformation. Lovely having you with us. Joining us along will be Romi Malhotra, Senior Advisor, Embark. May we have you with us on the stage, please. 4 decades of leadership experience across GCCs and global enterprises, and a rare blend of strategic foresight, operational excellence, and people-centric leadership. Lovely having you with us as well. We would now like to invite on stage our next panelist, Aveek Mukherjee, Managing Director and Co-Founder, Gloplax Solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, a seasoned leader with stellar leadership experience in the financial services. In this industry, which is very up, he is somebody who set up and led GCCs of 2 marquee banks, Wells Fargo and ANZ. Ladies and gentlemen, with 3 panelists and our moderator, and it's your applause which says we are about to begin the session. Over to you, Mr. Nathan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. First, a little bit of a disclosure. Sometime, by the way, I'm a career HR professional, and I'm now the country leader for the GCCs for PwC. So Sandeep, who may not be in the audience. Oh, you're there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sandeep. Okay, so all of them are highly qualified. So I'll tell you a little less known fact about each one of them. The person sitting to my left, he is an avid movie buff. He is an avid, he goes to all the theaters. You really want to know what you want to do one evening and feeling a little bored? Contact Sanjeev. I'll go to Aveek next, far corner. He is a foodie. So he knows exactly what is where. He cooks his own. He's in love with his own food. Can you imagine that? So that is Aveek there. Romi, he's a, I don't want to say he's a card sharp, but he's one of those who goes to the US, makes his millions, and comes back because he plays poker. So from his face, you could make out. So these are these wonderful people that we have here. So we heard a little bit about the FACT, and the FACT stands for foresight, action, culture, governance, and talent. So Sandeep, thank you for this. But I'm now going to speak to you about fiction. So the fiction is foresight, influence, commitment, talent, innovation, awesomeness, and being natural. So these are the qualities of a good GCC leader. Background for this particular afternoon is, GCCs are growing out of the seams. You got a lot of new ones coming up. So one of the things that you got to see is, where do we get these leaders from, and how do you do this? Do you manufacture those leaders, or you just borrow them, you buy them? How do you do that? That's what this section of this afternoon is about to be. The real question for CEOs and COOs is not whether GCCs matter, but how they lead, how they are trusted and integrated to create enterprise value. So that's what this afternoon is going to be. Very quickly, as a warm-up, there's a question to everybody on the panel. Keep your answers really short. I believe we have only 17 minutes. I think they ducked us for another 5 minutes, but we'll see. All of you, we are told that the number of GCCs would double in the next 2 to 3 years. What does it mean for existing GCCs?
More traffic in Bangalore.
More traffic in Bangalore, okay.
But obviously, this means a lot of commercial real estate will come up. But I think the challenge is going to be talent, obviously, because as these come up, they all need to scale up, find people, all of that. The byproduct will probably be tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities where, you know, the overflow will go, and I think that's a natural extension of this. And I think the winning formula will end up being producing mature babies, if I can say that. You know, AI, basically stuff that's created with AI. It's not a retrofit. It's an AI native product that you can start with. So I guess.
Thank you, Romi.
Yeah, to me, apart from talent, it's all about how quickly they can deliver value so that the GCCs don't become like an outpost of the parent organization, but are having a seat on the table and deliver the outcomes that the parents and their clients want.
Thank you.
I think from the topic perspective, I think more challenges on the leadership side, lesser focus on people, or what matters, basically, and higher attrition, blame it on Gen Z, and, it'll ultimately hurt the industry in some way or the other. Only thing that's going to moderate that is probably AI, which is going to kind of put a bit of a reverse pressure on talent. That might moderate it, but not for the right reasons.
Okay, all very diverse views, thank you. One of the things I didn't share with all of you is, while you'll get a lot of fantastic responses, the role of a moderator is just ask questions. So, and believe that he knows a little bit about
You
the
can
subject.
go ahead and
can
give your
answer.
next 15-minute
also
spiel on this.
On this
are all
one?
ears.
You think so? Okay. What I'll also do is I'll share with you a lot of useless information. Hey, by the way, I forgot to tell you, all these guys are my very close friends. So they told me just before this event that they're going to rib me till I'm blue in the face. So I need all your help to keep them at bay. So I'm going to share with you a lot of useless information, and I can bet my right arm you'll remember these more than what these people speak. Okay, the first one goes like this. Wearing a tie can reduce the blood flow to the brain by 7.5%. Wearing a tie can reduce blood flow by 7.5%, which is why you notice that all of us are not wearing ties. So, quickly, and this is for you, Sanjeev. So, Sanjeev, when you assess a GCC leader today, what are your top 2 capabilities? What are you really looking for? When you get a new GCC leader, what do you look for?
First of all, I don't think there is anything called a GCC or a GCC leader, right? To me, a leader is a leader.
Okay.
You put a leader in a GCC or a company which is in India or a startup or a multinational, I think it doesn't matter. What I look for in the leader is first is to really own the outcome. And what I mean by outcome is the end outcome. That means break all the barriers, take away all the excuses, all the justifications, and just feel empowered to influence the system and drive really the value, which is the outcomes. I have come across many times where people would scope out their role and would say that, well, this is what I am supposed to do, and kind of blame someone somewhere else, upstream, downstream. We have gone through that life. And especially if you're in a GCC, you would say that only this is my scope, the scope is somewhere else, some other function. But I think, to me, ultimately, it's the company's top line, bottom line that we all own. So the leader has to embrace that outcome.
A leader is a leader, regardless of where he or she comes from.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Romi, what's the one big shift that you have seen in the GCCs over several years that you've been part of GCCs?
So it's hard to say just one shift, but if you look directionally, what we are seeing is the shift has been from, let's say, manpower to mind power.
Manpower to mind power, okay?
So it's not just about, so if you look at the stages, and we heard that earlier in some of the sessions as well, of the whole evolution. It started with arbitrage, it went on to efficiency. So again, efficiency has given way to intelligence. So earlier it was, just do it. Just do what you're required to do it cheaper. Then it became, okay, do it better. And then it became, do it smarter, which means re-engineer the whole thing. We are doing it better than how you're doing it today, but now we're going to do it significantly better. Then it became, own it end to end. and create a whole new product, if you may, and do it out of here. And I think the next phase, which we see some examples, where you have global CXOs sitting on the stage here and representing their companies, etc., is really about you're not executing on the strategy that your company is making, you are deciding on the strategy. You're creating that strategy. With or without AI, I mean, AI is obviously a big part, but it's not just that. It is what will the company do, and when you become integral to that, and that's the journey, that's the shift.
That's a shift.
So it's not one thing, it's a bunch of things, I think, and different companies are at different stages of this continuum. And really you can think of it as almost a maturity model, where you start at one end, and KSV talked about what percentages of companies are in different phases of this. But broadly, the whole shift is being towards adding more value to the bottom line of companies and not just contributing, but actually creating the strategy that comes out of here for the rest of the world.
Thank you, Romi. Another useless piece of information is women blink twice as much as men. So please don't look to your left or to your right. But men have more hiccups than women. So men hiccup twice as much as women. So even as you're smiling on that, so there's a question for you. Aveek, has the role of any GCC leader evolved at all in your experience?
It has. I mean, as Romi said, the expectations were very different initially. Expectations are very different. Right now, the expectation is a whiteboard. You can write your expectation. Depends on who you are and how far do you want to push the envelope. But it's over time become more complex. It's a superhuman role. I mean, if you ask, I mean, that person is expected to do everything, right, in a microcosm of the company, pretty much. So, and that's probably one of the reasons we are seeing some cracks. That's why we are probably kind of having discussions on leadership. How's the leadership quality today vis-a-vis what we used to have in the past? Maybe the role of the past leaders was simpler. Maybe today is much more difficult. So, yeah, that part of it is there today.
So the leaders of today are having far more challenges than the one that you have had in the past, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. We'll stay with that. So under these circumstances, Sanjeev, how do you really develop leaders? You can't just keep buying leaders. And I know that Wipro has a long-standing tradition of creating a lot of entrepreneurs and leaders. So how do you do it?
See, developing leaders is a combination of many things. One is empowering them, absolutely, and the leader also feeling empowered. And while you were on the first question of leader, one more thing that I just want to bring in here, which might resonate. Have you ever wondered, when it comes to politics, when it comes to unions, we call them union leaders and political leaders. But when it comes to corporates, we call them general managers. Yeah, I think that should hopefully give you the answer to this question as well. So I think when you may not like unions, you may not like politics, but they behave as leaders.
Yes.
You may not like their language, you may not like their decorum or etiquettes, but when it comes to corporates, we behave as managers. Right? I think so. To me, the first point is when you have to develop leaders, the leadership has to start with, I don't know what I don't know. A leader is not supposed to know everything. I think that's a big enough step one.
Yes.
And the leader has to unlearn and learn. I think somehow the leaders come with an assumption that I'm supposed to have an answer to every question. And I might look a little odd if I don't seem to be knowing something. So the first thing which I look at the leaders is how authentic they are, how genuine they are, right? And to me, I believe that leaders have an innate sense or a common sense or natural intelligence, whatever you call it, to pick up things. The technology is changing, skills are changing, so it's not that you have kind of graduated in a particular degree or done a PhD in your Java or Python or even AI. It doesn't mean that you'll be able to apply it. I think leadership is about grabbing the opportunities, getting the right people, and sometimes the people may be more qualified than the leader. I think that's very important for the leader to absolutely not feel insecure, develop a team which actually is better than them, and just stay focused on the problem that we are solving. I think I a lot of times find that leaders might want instant gratification, might want to present something on a PPT and kind of feel good. I think to me it's all about numbers speak, outcomes speak. So if the leader is very authentic in saying, and the other thing for the leaders is the say-do ratio. The leaders have to be really, sticking to what they say and what they do.
Excellent. Say-do ratio, that will stick with me. And of course, the one about the general managers, but it'll sound very silly when you say general leader, right? Yeah,
okay.
But that's okay.
Vice President leader.
Vice President leader, okay. Okay. So, did you know that bananas are radioactive? Because they have potassium in them. So bananas are radioactive. But chill, really chill. Because, you're 240 times more radioactive than any banana. So that's fine. Useless information. This is a question to you, Romi. Quick one. India has not been recognized for deep technical talent. A lot of deep technical talent. Do you believe that leadership talent coming out of India will take a long time to strengthen? And what do we need to do to strengthen the leadership pipeline? I know we have a lot of international leaders who go outside of the country and then become great leaders. But do you believe that we're doing all the right things within the country to develop leaders?
I thought this session was 20 minutes. We need a day for this. I think, as in the previous session that I heard this as well, yes, there is a pipeline of people who can take up the mantle. And again, leadership, as Sanjeev just said, is got nothing to do with GCC leadership being separate from any other domain. A leader is a leader. And what is required of a leader is not very different. Whether you need to think strategically, build a team, be able to create an aspiration about what people need to do, get them to deliver their best, find the right people for the right jobs, put them, there's a whole bunch of things that are there. Having said that, the one or two nuances in this industry that I've seen are significantly more important is because more often than not, you're dealing with different cultures. Whether your principals, your customers, whichever way you look at it, and your ability to be more sensitive to that, one, your ability to communicate in a way that is not only effective, but your influence and persuasion skills, your ability to read the room, the ability to turn on a dime, and the ability to deliver on that, so that you can build that trust and credibility that is required of you as a leader when you're in that room, and very often for a very short while because you're 10,000 miles away, becomes a critical need, a critical ask of leaders here, which is more than normal for the general leader that you might need. So I think focus on that. And as it is, as Indians, both culturally and education-wise, we are not great communicators.
Yes.
The only time, I don't know if you know this, but the only time you're graded for a pass or a fail for speaking something is on a PhD thesis.
True.
Whereas in a lot of other cultures and environments, you're graded pretty much in high school.
Very true.
You need to be talking, express yourself. And culturally, you're always said, he's elder than you, shut up. Teacher speaking, don't speak, don't interject, don't answer back, which is counterintuitive to how you're expected to deal and behave in the environment that the leaders are in today.
And don't be boastful.
Well, we don't be boastful, yeah. Although I think humility is a good thing to have in leaders. I think that's a big thing missing in today's leaders, but separate conversation.
Okay, now I'd like all of us to get into a rapid fire question set of things. So we'll start with you, Aveek. One leadership behavior that you think is absolutely important.
Foresight.
Foresight, okay.
Ability to drive change.
Drive change.
Set a vision.
Set a vision, great. One behavior that would build trust with people.
Say do.
Say do, yeah. Okay, great.
Results.
Results.
Empathy.
Empathy. One big myth about GCCs. Big myth.
A lot of them.
A lot of them. Just one.
GCCs will replace IT services.
GCCs
will replace IT services.
Oh, okay. Big myth.
The myth is it's the back office. We got to change that.
Got to change that there's a back office. Very good.
Some treat it as, it's an answer to your future issues of the enterprise.
Yeah, there's a panacea for all ills that you would have in any organization. Get them off to GCCs. And
Solve everything for you.
Yeah, solve everything for you, okay. One capability, I'll start with you, Aveek. One capability that future GCCs must build today. Leaders in GCCs, if they've got to build something, what's the one thing that they got to build? One capability.
Sustainability.
Sustainability.
I think the ability to understand and blend AI to business.
Okay.
Domain expertise for the industry.
Domain expertise, okay. The last one, this is very easy. Your personal leadership success mantra. Yeah, you go first, Sanjeev.
Family first.
Family first. Oh, wow. Family first. Very good.
You're the least smart person in the room.
You're the least smart person in the room, okay?
People first.
People first. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, before I summarize, I see that I've just got 21 seconds. This one is easy. A group of owls is called a parliament of owls.
What of owls?
So the next time you see a lot of ullus in our, I'm not saying our parliament, in any parliament, you must know that it refers to a parliament of owls. Our time is up. I wish I could have been here a little longer. In summary, if you really look at it, this is about leadership, no different in a GCC than it would be anywhere else. We learned a few things. And one of the most charming things about this particular session was just the simplicity of the way that you express anything and everything that you said. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, audience. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Nathan.
Well, let's give a big round of applause again. I know you just did. While I invite Mr. Sameer to join us on stage, ladies and gentlemen, Samit and Rajani, Chief Executive Officer, 3AI, joins us on stage. While our speakers are right here, let me tell you, we've got so much more in store for all of you. But sir, I know you want to address. The stage is yours.
First of all, I have a pleasure and privilege of knowing each one of them personally. And sometimes I keep on saying with no qualms, not every time in a panel you got to bring the gender discussion. And by the way, Nathan, you're saying now, what was this analogy about banana?
It's very radioactive.
Oh, okay, we'll talk about that. So we have a group. Romi is not part of that. Romi will get you included. Aveek, Sanjeev, Nathan, there are a bunch of other folks. And we call this group, can I disclose?
Oh, yeah.
GCC Pioneers. That's something called self-fulfilling prophecy at some level. And one of the common thing which we observe whenever we do these walks around Cubbon Park with this group is the nuggets of wisdom of life, which is devoid of leadership, that sometime when you start balancing your personal and professional life, the leadership quality invariably goes up few notches, which came out very clearly. I mean, it's also a characteristic of their own leadership style. When I approached Aveek, we want you over there. This is the panel we are trying to hold. Sameer, anything for you. Same thing, likewise for Romi, Sanjeev, book my calendar 45 days in advance. I'll be there. And Nathan had to go through a bunch of approvals. I hope the approvals are in place. But having said that, the unassuming nature is something which keeps sometimes leadership far away from the pack. in terms of being differentiated. And I keep on saying, if they spend multiple years in the professional industry, there is a learning which is for each one of us to take it out here that, in my opinion, Nathan, you summed it very well, it's all about simplicity. Authenticity, and Sanjeev, I keep on saying, being also an XG say-do ratio. What you commit, you got to kind of execute. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time. Absolutely a pleasure out here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having the authentic conversations. Thank you to our moderator, Mr. Nathan S.V., our country leader, PwC Acceleration Centers in India. Thank you to Mr. Sanjeev Jain, Chief Operating Officer, Wipro, Mr. Romi Malhotra, Senior Advisor, Embark, and Mr. Aveek Mukherjee, Managing Director and Co-Founder, Gloplax Solutions.